strike immediately. We won't be giving second chances. And keep the questions like, PG. Anyway, fire away.
Oh boy. Okay. I was fed today. Very well, actually. I have. Oh, you know what? I haven't actually had spaghetti in a long time. I kind of miss it. I should make it again sometime. State of repentance. I would say like maybe a solid, maybe a solid 8. I'd say like there is still some work to be done, but I'm extremely happy with where it is right now. It is such a huge step up from anti-birth. I bet that in the synergy. That would come one day. Bread is, you know what? So that is like, I will always talk shit about French food because I think it's like, it's not spicy enough for my own taste. But we do have some seriously good bread. Like you're not gonna find bread this good anywhere else. That's like the one thing I really like about this country's food. Oh boy. Okay, hardest thing to implement in the patch, Tainted Laz, definitely. Tainted Laz was like such a technical nightmare. You wouldn't expect him to be this complicated. Like he's basically just Jacob or Esau. But the fact that not like both of them aren't on screen at the same time means you actually have to save the state of whichever Laz isn't there. So you have to restore it afterwards. And that's more complicated than you would expect. And for the same reason, fixing Esau Jr. was also pretty hard. But I think we're getting there. He still has a few bugs. I saw some of your reports. I'm still looking through them. But yeah, I'm, like aside from the few bugs, I'm pretty happy with where he is now. Favorite thing I made for the update? Probably Judas's Birthright. I had thoughts about it. Like, should we really do a Book of Virtues thing again? And then I started doing all the little synergies with all the items that don't have a conventional charge. Like, Notch Tax or Earth of Souls. And I had a ton of fun coming up with effects for them. I didn't do all of them yet. That's probably coming in a future update. But yeah, I had a lot of fun making it. Okay, so the last part, we actually found that during testing, like a few days before we pushed the patch. And like that was so good. We just thought, you know what, let's just keep it in. Like you couldn't make this up if you tried. So yeah, you know what, it's a feature now. It's a feature. Most hilarious bug I had to fix. I can't really remember any right now. I know we had to fix. I remember we had to fix a lot of bugs that were pretty funny, but like off the top of my head, I can't really think of any right now. Oh yeah, there was this bug in Anti-Birth where minecarts would sometimes spawn inside of minecarts, and they would just glitch out like crazy. They would just like kind of fly all over the place and just endlessly break, and it was so chaotic. Oh my god, yeah! I remember now. Actually, wait, can I post things? Can I post GIFs in chat? Because I want to show this.
Yeah, of course.
So there was this great. So I was working on C-section, like the synergies with C-section, and So because the fetuses are actually just tears, the sword beam that would fire from the spirit sword when you do a spin attack would inherit the fetus property. So the little sword beams would also come out with their own swords, which also had a little sword of their own, and like it just made an infinite loop of like swords just holding swords and doing spin attacks and making more of themselves. Let me see if I can post this. I can't believe I forgot about that one. Check this out. Okay, where was I? The story behind Legend. So the thing in the anti-bird trailer wasn't Legion. It was just like a thing. I'm not actually 100% sure what it is. You would have to ask Leather about it because I don't remember what was the idea behind it. But as for Legion, the boss itself, I got the idea from the boss of the same name from one of the Castlevania games. That was like this big ball of corpses, like kind of stuck together, and I just always loved the design of it, and I really wanted to put it into the game as like this big ball of globins that would kind of like all the globins would kind of have a hive mind, sort of. So they would like try to circle you. They would have like formations and stuff like that, but I never had like a really concrete idea of what the boss should do. The Lyrium reward, we have a lot of ideas. Not totally sure about which ones we're gonna go with, but hopefully you guys are going to see at some point during next year. I think I don't want to make like I don't want to make a promise that I can't keep, but I think next year we could get like a void revamp out because this is definitely like something I would like to do. Like I wouldn't want to step away from the game until this is done. Uh, Anything else we plan to add or fix? Well, anything we plan to add. I mean, I wouldn't want to spoil the surprise, but things that we could fix. I don't like right now. Nothing really comes to mind. Like just fix as many things as we can, basically. Um, Tainted Cane. I honestly, well, I'm gonna have to do more runs with Tainted Cane myself to get like more of a feel for him. But I really feel like he's fine the way he is right now. Like the set recipes was just something like a cool little thing I wanted to do for recipes where like all the pickups are the same. Like all 8 coins should always give you the same thing, and so on and so on. But I think for the most part, it's better if the recipes are completely random. Originally, I thought nobody would notice that the recipes were always the same every time, but that was like kind of foolish of me to assume that people would figure it out day one and just start trying to get the most out of it. But really, that's not how you're supposed to play the character. Like, it's not fun. It's like I've seen people say it is debug consoles with extra steps, and I thought like I was aware of that, but I figured what, we could leave it in so it's an option if you really want to play the game this way. But I didn't think so many people would start assuming that is how you're supposed to play the character because it's not. It was always about just finding rare pickups or trying to get them to spawn, and then like almost like doing RNG manipulation to get the items that you want. But if we took the RNG away, like that just wouldn't be fun anymore. Mod override system. So that would be like basically a priority system for mods, kind of. So you can choose which mods trigger specific effects over others. Oh my god, I am so far behind on the questions. Okay, maybe I should like go a bit faster. I don't really know if I have a good answer for the mod override thing because like I would need some use cases for like, why you would want something like that. Non-tainted characters getting tricks in the future. Maybe. I just can't promise anything like that. I've seen someone point out that Apollyon has been nerfed so much because there's just like all the items are worth taking now, so Void has been basically nerfed to hell. And that's a kind of funny thought, but it is a good point. And I'm not really sure what to do about that yet. Like I really like the concept of Void, but it's true that the way you use it is basically just, oh, I don't want that item, just give me some stat ups. It's not that fun. I don't know. Something I would like to look into, but can't really promise anything. Games mod API. I think it could be better. I would like to spend some time in the future working on it, like adding more things to it, trying to optimize it. But that's gonna take a lot of time, so I don't really like. I can't really tell you when that's gonna happen. I would like to focus on fixing like the many bugs that are still on the game before I really get to that. Tainted Eden exists because Ed. Well, that was Ed. That was Ed's idea. I am gonna be honest. I didn't really like it at first, but it's really growing on me. Like, I think it's okay if you don't like every tainted character because the tainted characters are supposed to be like they're supposed to be kind of experimental. Like we're just playing around with various concepts and we see what sticks and what doesn't. And I think there's a thing for everyone. There are people who like to break the game. There are people who like to use things like the D4 and just randomize their run whenever they can. And I think Tainted Eden is for these people. It's not really my thing personally, but when I do play him, I do enjoy it still. And there are a few characters like that where I knew that not everyone would like them, but I think that's okay. Bug when using multidimensional baby. I thought we fixed that one. I'm pretty sure we fixed that one. I have to look into it, but I distinctly remember fixing it. You should try it out again with the latest version, maybe. Fixing in the next update, well, probably everything that's been reported so far. Like, I've still been looking through all the bug reports, and there's still quite a lot of work to do. So, yeah. Worst part of Isaac code-wise? Oh, that's a tough one. Like honestly, working on Isaac is fine for the most part. Like of course the game is huge now. Like there's so many interactions between items that you kind of have to hard code some of them. Like you can't just make a system that really handles everything that you could possibly think of. So sometimes things can get a little bit messy, but aside from that, I mean, I'm just, I enjoy doing this. More synergies. I mean, you're always going to see more synergies. Like every time I play the game and I feel like, oh, these two items could synergize together. Sometimes I just stop and put that synergy in. And that's how most of the new synergies in this update came to be. So you can probably expect more stuff like that in the future. But Tainted Lazarus, like to me, the flip thing makes sense to me because flip only switches between life and death when you play as Tainted Lazarus. But the other characters don't have that property, like they don't have a second form. So there is no reason for the item itself to flip. You're just flipping the items around you, but not yourself. This patch wasn't split into more little patches because a bunch of things kind of happened at the same time. Like, we wanted to do the localization, we wanted to add the missing birthright and, C-section. And by the time we realized how much time this would take, it was already impossible to split the update into smaller patches. Because if you do that, you kind of risk breaking more things. And well, you kind of end up in this vicious cycle of, oh no, we probably shouldn't release this right now until it's finished. It's almost finished anyway. And then we realize, oh no, there's like so much more stuff to do. And then like we add stuff and more stuff breaks, and then you have to fix that. And it's not that simple. But also, I do think we could have handled this a little better. So I think we're gonna try to push fixes a bit more regularly and try to organize like new stuff in such a way that like the fixes don't depend on that so much. If that makes any sense. I'm trying to explain this, but I don't think I'm actually making any sense. But either way, we're gonna try to make sure that bug fixes don't take so long next time. Dumplings were the first enemies I added to Anti-Birth, and I don't like how they work. Like, they're just tedious to fight. And we could never figure out better mechanics for them. So we just took them out, and then we never really had the time to put them back in because we just didn't find any good concepts for them. Patch is done. I mean, I'm still gonna stick with the game for a little while. I don't know how long yet. I would like to move on to other things in the future. I would like to work on my own games at some point, but I don't really know when that's gonna happen. We'll just like right now, I'm still enjoying myself, still having fun doing this. So no reason to move on to something else yet. Banshee is like an amazing tester. He's the best. I'm gonna try to get the custom room fixes in for Monday. I can't promise it will happen, but I will do my best to make it happen. If it doesn't come out on Monday, you can probably expect like another patch later on, but don't worry, it's not gonna take 6 months this time. Feature not in the game yet that I'm most excited about. I'm not sure. Right now, my mind is on not new features, but that's probably gonna change in the future. Like, I don't really know. We'll see. Well, this server is super helpful. I keep checking in there every once in a while, and the feedback is always really nice. Isaac 2, that's not up to me to say. Like, you will have to ask Ed. Old dark arts. Mm, we'll see. I've seen some mixed opinions about it. I've seen people say that the old dark arts was way too strong, and then I've seen people who say that it's kind of useless now. I don't think that's the case. I think it's still really strong because it's still a dodge on command, and it does a pretty solid amount of damage. So I don't think the temporary damage up is that important, and I think it's interesting that it's something that's unique to Tainted Judas. But we'll see. You know, things can always change. Oh, you bet I'm proud of my work. I'm super proud of what we did with Repentance. Like this is basically the best case scenario. Like I remember when we were working on Anti-Birth and we were like kind of fantasizing about, oh yeah, what if one day we end up working on Isaac, and then like we get to do our own thing as a DLC. And I never imagined that would actually happen. This is just the best thing ever. So yeah, I'm just extremely happy to be here. Wait, what do you mean remove custom? Oh no! I see what's going on. I'm so sorry about that. That's gonna be fixed. Yeah, sorry. That was an unfortunate side effect of the localization. It will be fixed. Yeah. Plans to make modding a little better. Yeah, for sure. But I want to focus on gameplay fixes first. But that's gonna come later on. Massa bad. Yeah. Massa had a bad. No, just kidding. You're cool. Who was the best playtester for rep? I mean, Banshee is an absolute beast. That's for sure. Like he's kind of insane. Like if we're talking like in terms of game skills, that is, if we're talking about like best playtester, I don't want to put anyone in the spotlight. I think everyone was amazing, really, and I appreciate all of them. You guys are awesome. T. Samson suplex. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. I'm pretty proud of this one. Repentance Plus. I would die if Repentance Plus was a thing. Like I think we've made enough DLCs at this point. Like this is just insane to me that Repentance is a DLC for a DLC for a DLC. This has to stop. There's only so much we can add to this game. Can't really answer that. It's not up to me, but I know it's being worked on. Witness on Basement One. That was the worst thing ever. I'm like, I can't believe we let that into the release of Anti-Birth. Talking about GIFs. Oh yeah, that was when I said I was gonna post the GIF. Um. So yeah, of course I've seen the feedback on the donation machine change. I there are some good points being made. I'm gonna be honest there. I still feel like that was something that needed to be done because I just like the idea that you can get essentially infinite money by having any infinite source of explosions is kind of busted and kind of cheap, in my opinion. Was the change a little bit too heavy-handed? Maybe. I have a few ideas as to how we could change that. And I get that the donation machine has like other problems as well, like there not being really an incentive to donate to it after you've unlocked everything. And I feel like there is something we can do about that without just turning it into like a bank where you can just get as much money as you want if you're lucky enough to get a golden bomb or something like that. I can just say it's not going to be the end of it. There's still a lot of changes. I would personally like to make to the donation machine, but we're still kind of experimenting with that. The beast, but it's my dad. uh, what exactly was the reasoning for the beast? Doug Maganing Nerve didn't develop it. Well, it's because someone got his ass kicked while testing it. I'm not gonna say who, but you know who you are. Nah, I think it's probably for the better. Ed made some good points while we were working on it, and it's probably for the better that, like, the beast isn't too difficult, because if you've reached this point, it kind of feels bad if you die at the last moment. So it just makes sense for the beast's final phase to be easier than the rest. I would personally make them harder, but also I'm not everyone. Like, I've played this game a lot, and I kind of just like things being ridiculously difficult, which is like, I get that's not for everyone. So this is for the best, I think. Missing anti-items. Some of them, maybe. There are a few that I would like to add back, but I think they need some changes. Yeah, Attack X Rubber Cement on release was kind of a mess. Keeper's Birthright. I mean, we thought about Keeper's Birthright for a while, and I just couldn't come up with anything like really fitting for him. So sometimes simple is better. Like, you don't have to do like something super complicated, like Judas's Birthright. I think it's not the most exciting thing ever, but it's still something nice to see in a shop. And like, in my mind, that is good enough of a reason to make it just to have fun. I mean, I can't really tell you what Cadavra is going to be because I would still like to finish him. We didn't have time to do that for the release, but it's something I would definitely like to do in the future because we have all the art is done. Saj did a really good job on it, and wouldn't want that to go to waste. But yeah, I can't really tell you what they're gonna do because that would just spoil the fun. Mega Satan unique track. I mean, why not? That would be nice. That's something we could do, but like, again, can't really promise anything on that side. Favorite boss to design. So one of my new favorite bosses in Repentance was Colostomia, because I was stuck on her for the longest time. I was saying, no, this is fun. There's no way this is ever going to be fun. And then we made some like very small changes to her, and then she turned into something completely different. And I really enjoy like the Colostomia fight now. It's a very simple fight, but I think it does its job pretty well. Min Min is a pretty good one too. I had a lot of fun designing the attacks for that one. And and the Horny Boys too. That was all Leather's doing. It's a very traditional like anti-birth like boss, and like, I don't know, I felt kind of nostalgic working on the Horny Boys because like that felt like the kind of boss we would do when we just started modding Rebirth. Why is Tainted Lost such a zero to hero character? Because I love that kind of sort of character. I always wanted a character that like gives you like a character that puts you in danger throughout the entire run, but still feels satisfying to play like almost every run. You know, the kind of character that even if you die, you still want to play again because you had a relatively good time. I'm sure he's not for everyone, but like he's one of my favorites. Pill Crusher, maybe I would like to do it. I just think it needs some changes because the fact that it's an active item and you only get some use out of it when you do find a pill, that kind of sucks. I think we can do better than that, like something a bit more interesting. I mean, we've always been close to each other, like Sage and Leather. I think, I mean, we've always been friends. I wouldn't say that we're closer now because we're always pretty close, but yeah, I had a great time working with them. Oh, Tinted Blue Baby is fine, come on. More item reworks. Maybe. Who knows? I've had a lot of requests to add Lucky 7 back. It's like such an absurd item. I you know, we'll figure something out. We'll figure something out. I would add it back if like we can find something that really works for it. I think the whole slot machine thing was kind of maybe a little bit too wacky, but maybe that's what you guys like. So I don't know. I'm thinking about it. What keeps me motivated to work on Isaac? Playing it. Sometimes I find myself like completely lost. I'm like, oh, you know what? Fuck this game. I don't want to work on it anymore. And then I actually play it, and it changes everything. Like you can't get ideas for something if you don't play it. That is so important. And my motivation kind of just comes and goes anyway. Like sometimes I don't feel like doing anything, and sometimes I have like all the ideas coming to me, and I'm just getting like tons of things done every day. It kind of just comes and goes. Favorite repentance mod? Okay, so I'm a bit ashamed to admit this, but I haven't played any mods since Afterbirth Plus came out because like ever since Afterbirth Plus came out, I was busy working on stuff. When Afterbirth Plus just came out, I was busy trying to port Afterbirth to Antibirth because we were like, oh, you know what? I'm still yeah, I'm gonna try doing this because you know it could be fun trying to reimagine some of the Afterbirth items. But then like the whole booster, like forgotten booster thing happened, and I moved on to Afterbirth Plus and then Repentance, and then I just never really had time to play mods. But in theory, I'm taking a small break next month, and I really want to check out Feedfolio and Revelations and like all the mods out there because they just look so well done. And I'm kind of just amazed that you guys can make stuff like that happen with like this API. This is just insane. Third knife piece. At some point, so the mirror was Ed's idea, and when he pushed it at first, I was a bit against it because it was too close to the mini floor from the mausoleum. And and then we realized that you know maybe we don't actually need three knife pieces. Maybe two is enough because it was already pretty hard coming up with a challenge for the first knife pieces, like the first knife pieces, and then the second one. If we had to make a third one, um, I I don't think I could give you an answer just like that. That's like, I would probably be stuck on that for a long time. More item unlocks for tainted characters. See, this is the problem with adding stuff. Like, either you gotta do all of it or none of it. Because if you just do half of it, it's gonna feel unfinished. But there was no way we were going to add one unlock for everything for each tainted character. Like, that would just, like, there would be so many more items we would have to come up with. The original plan for the tainted characters was just to have one unlock when you unlock everything as them, like when you beat everything as them. And then I just started coming up with more and more ideas, and it just kind of piled up. I don't know. Like right now, I'm thinking no, but maybe that's gonna change in the future. So Ed lets me touch everything, anything. Like, this is kind of insane to me that he lets me do that. But usually, like when I personally want to change something, he is going to hear me out. And that's just kind of crazy to me. I don't think there is anything in the game right now that I really disagree with. Like, even making things easy. Oh, I saw that. You sneaky man. How do I feel about them? I mean, I understand where they're coming from. We'll figure something out. I don't want to just undo the change because, again, I think it was necessary, but I think we can change it a little bit in a way that like benefits everyone. Because the way the donation machine was before was kind of broken, to be honest, and it needed to be changed. Again, just give us some time. We'll figure something out. If I could add any subfloor, okay. So the subfloors thing from Finfolio, like I really wish we came up with that because that is such a cool idea. That is such a cool way to add new areas without just like oversaturating the game with more and more alternate paths. Uh, I mean, hey, if I could add any subfloors, I would just keep the ideas to myself, wouldn't I? Why would I let you guys know? No, honestly, I don't like. I can't really think of anything right now. Like, I think we've already added enough like new areas as is. I'm not going to answer this one. I've done it. We've been through this already. More synergies for tainted opponents locus. Yeah, of course, that's gonna happen. We'll get to it. More buddies in a box. I mean, that's basically just more co-op babies. Maybe. Who knows? Doesn't take that much work to add them. More synergies like Subex plus Bobs. Yeah, of course, always. I love adding little things like that. Ah, Jerb, the shadow leader of Isaac Cord. I love him, of course I do. He's the best. Yeah, like I said before, I just didn't get to touch Nemo's, but I really want to get to it. Great Greedier mode. I have we got some ideas. I've been talking to Leather about that recently. We got some ideas for things we could try doing without just like completely changing the way grid mode works. Nothing really set in stone yet. We'll have to experiment. But definitely some things I would like to try. Boss champions, I think they're interesting. But they have more potential. They have a lot of potential that isn't really exploited, and we haven't really had time to make boss champions version of the repentance bosses. But there's some stuff I'd like to try with them. I wouldn't cut them. I think that would be a shame. I like the idea of getting like random variants of bosses you've fought before. Next thing I want to work on, I would like to move on to smaller projects. Maybe start making little prototypes of my own. I have like a bunch of game concepts in my mind that I never really got to try out. So maybe I'll get to that. Shovel Knight is forcing negative. I don't see why not. Honestly, that's a good idea. Yeah, I like that. I'll keep that one in mind. That makes perfect sense. If I could bring any kind of anti-bird feature back, none of them really. I think Repentance is like everything I liked about Anti-Birth, and then more. Anything from Anti-Birth that we cut was stuff I didn't really like so much. Yeah, I have considered that. There's actually a quality modifier system for Tainted Cane, but I didn't finish it. But yeah, you're completely right. Some items are way better as him than as other characters. And I was working on like being able to set the quality of certain items to a different value if you're playing a Tainted Cane. It doesn't work yet, but it's something I would like to finish at some point. Oh, Ed never forces me to work. I do all of this because I want to. Ed is like the most chill, the coolest guy ever. He never forces me to do